the sixth Sunday of Ordinary Time. And today there is a long gospel, 20 verses, and a shorter one. So I'm going to stick to the shorter one. In an unusual little gospel, Jesus is talking to the disciples, as he has been since the Beatitudes were in chapter 5 of Matthew's gospel. Jesus is still the Moses. Jesus is still teaching those learning, the disciples. And he has very strong words for them. Let not your righteousness be that of the Pharisees and the scribes. So what's that about? There are three challenges that Jesus has. One is not to kill, from the Ten Commandments, not to commit adultery, from the 6th and 9th commandments, and about swearing. Swearing, and when we talk about swearing, we think bad words, cusses, dirty words, we'd call it. Those of you who are interested in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius and familiar with them, I highly recommend number 39, because it's in a section of the exercises preparing for a general confession, and it's about words, to examine yourself about words, which is at the end of today's gospel. When you take an oath, which is what is meant originally by swearing, it's taking oaths, how to do that? What's a reverential way of taking oaths? And Jesus says, you know, you really don't need to swear by this or that what I'm saying is true. Let your truth be what you say. Yes is yes and no is no. This is this, that is that. I am this, I am not this. Your truth, Jesus is saying, doesn't have to be testified by any divine or secular affidavits that, yes, you are who you are. Let your actions be who you are. So he's saying, be God's gift, be reverential. Now, in the exercises, Jesus says, be careful. If you swear by a creature, just by I swear by that tree, that's a bit, you're asking the tree to verify your truth. Only truth can verify truth. So he says, and this is in the third section of number 39, he says, and this is the only time Ignatius uses the word perfect in the exercises, he said, for those who are perfect, by dint of constant contemplation, reverencing the existence and essence of God in everything, then you can swear by the tree, because you know that God is in the tree and of the tree, and God is, and the tree is because of God. So there's a reverence for the truth of the tree, and you swear by the God of the tree. Not that the tree is God, but that God's reverence has, you reverence the God-made tree. So then, by constant contemplation, you can swear by it. But if you just say, by my head, which was one form of swearing, I testify that by my head, or there was, even in the times of Jesus, by Jerusalem, or by the church. We had a man next door, maybe I've told this story, we had a man named Eric, and he didn't believe in God. But he was very conversational and an elderly gentleman and wonderful neighbor. But he didn't believe in God, and he knew that next door were 6 Irish kids growing up in an Irish Catholic family. He would end every sentence, every declarative sentence, by God. I know this by God. He didn't believe in God, but he was verifying everything he said as true, as God as his witness. But of course he didn't believe in God. We called him Eric by God, because our view of him was he was a gift from God, a delightful man. Eric by God. So that was a way of swearing, to swear by something that had nothing to do with God, and only God is true. So that's what is at the bottom. I just wanted to point that out because we know that adultery and killing, they're wrong. But what's wrong about them? And all the other things in the longer form, Jesus has many other things. We're contemplating the short form. But adultery and killing are not seeing, not reverencing the existence of God in that person. So I'm taking that person's truth away from that person. That person I want to kill. I don't have the reverence for it, so I can kill it because it's my power over that person. I change the name of that person. That person is now an enemy. And Jesus says, I say more. Not just killing, but even being angry and working out your anger against is a power statement. Anger is a way of being righteous. Being angry at you because you hold something and I hold it differently. You're wrong. I don't reverence your way of looking at it. And killing is killing a person by my anger. I dismiss you because you're stupid. Well, that's my name for you. And I don't contemplate God's existence and God's creation. I don't reverence that in you like I don't reverence the existence of God in a tree. And the same with sexuality. It's not, the word lust is in my contemplations, is more than sexual lust. Adultery is wrong. For the same reason, I make you have a different name than the name God gave you. You are not mine, you are God's. And my power then says, I need you, I need to use you for my identity. Lust is more than sexual. Lust is a need for power in all forms. A lust for knowledge, a lust for control. So lust is a power statement. I need that to be me. No, you need to contemplate you as a gift from God. And the very last line of the gospel is very important. Anything else is from the evil one. Anything else of getting your holiness from the power statements, the power actions, that's all from the evil one. Contemplation of the goodness of God in things is righteousness. Not by what you do, but who you allow yourself to be. Who does God say you are? Is there a reverence in you? And we celebrate the Eucharist and we receive the Eucharist as God's reverencing of us and asking us to reverence the goodness of God now within me and the goodness of God within you. Whether you have received the Eucharist or not, you have received his sacred creation of you. So you're not just a creature, you are a creation of the loving God. And we reverence the God in everyone and restrain our lusts for control, not just our lust for sexuality. but a lust for control and renaming of other people. Those who are perfect because, not because what they do, but because they contemplate and they receive and reverence the God of the things around us.